Blast me to the mortal realms! It's time for the Mad Merlins review of Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormbringer, issue 75 by Hachette Partworks and Warhammer. Hello everyone, welcome back to another Warhammer Age of Sigmar Stormbringer issue review. And yeah, we are beginning the last 5 issues, so not more than a day after I finished filming the last delivery, after finally catching up, my latest delivery arrived. So I've got 75, which is here in front of me, which is our last Iron Jaws model, and I've also got 76, 77 and 78, which are the 3 parts of the Storm Drake Guard. A wonderful kit. And yeah, I think it might be a bumpy episode to just speed through the last few issues. So yeah, hopefully I'll be going to posting 1 a week for the 1 to 2 a week, I think, just to help catch up. And yeah, with the last 2 issues going to be coming fairly soon, it should hopefully bring me up to date. But yeah, let's focus then on issue 75. But before we do, don't forget to, of course, do all the usual. Like the video if you are enjoying the Stormbringer content, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, and check my community feed as there is a poll of what collection I will collect next for the channel. It's either going to be the how to build the Megazord, though I'm not too keen on Fanhome. They seem to have a rather pricey sort of setup for how you get your issues. Plus, they don't have free postage, unlike Hachette does. But the other one, of course, is the brand new 40k Partworks, which is Combat Patrol. As I've mentioned before, it's a magazine I'm on 2 sides about. Kind of want some of the armies, kind of don't want the others, so I might collect and then probably sell off once I've got the complete collection done. Might be fun just to, paint something different and play some games with them over the course of the magazine. I've had a look at the website and there's some nice stuff coming with the magazine. We're getting custom-made terrain cards, which should be quite fun. But yeah, hopefully I'll do a full video on that later on. But yeah, that's the 2 options, so be sure to cast your votes. Right, let's dive into issue 75. Here it is. So we get the Orruk Warchanta there. We get Iron Jaws Tactics, and of course a new battle plan to play. So yeah, let's take a look inside. Right. Cracker open. So 2 little frames, we'll have a look at those in just a sec. 1 40mm round base, and of course a magazine. So yeah, pretty much a referee of these 2 flags up in the air. Touchdown! Do-do-do-do-do-do. Or whatever it is, I don't know. Right, let's kick things off with looking at the frame. So we'll zoom in a bit and I'll give you some up-close details. So let's take a look at the main body first of all. So we've got the main body with the arms and 1 leg there. There's the other leg separate. We got the hands, which are 2 separate pieces, and we got the back armor as well. And he's hollow chest, so yeah. Pretty cool looking model. Big muscles for a big orc. And finally then we have our frame with all these accessories. So we got these extra spiky armor pieces there. We got the front of his abdomen there and his legs. We got his waist plate there. And some tusks that go over the back of his armor. A nice little skull detail. A giant chopper with a bird skull on the hilt. And there's his head as well. So that goes over the tongue there, completing the face. Pretty cool. So yeah, nice little model to finish off our orcs. So let's dive into the issue next. Right then, issue 75. So we are straight into the collect article with our collect, build, paint articles for the Warchanta. We have a extra bonus paint guide, adding some details of scenery. Then play-wise, we got the Warchanta, Destruction Tactics, and we have a Glimmer of Hope as our match for Last Stand. So here we go to the brand new Iron Jaws character. So yeah, the Warchanters are inspirational Iron Jaws leaders who beat out special rhythms on their crude musical instruments, called Gork Sticks and Mork Sticks. These catchy, martial beats can infuse the Warchanters' comrades with fury, reinforce their strength, or even heal them of their wounds. So yeah, he's a bit of a nice all-round support character, buffing, healing, etc. And yeah, he's basically a big raver. So, add a 1, add a 2, add a 1, 2, 3, what's next? 4. That's as many as I can count to. I lost the thumb. So, yeah, rhythm of war. Above the din of combat, orders are given and troops are inspired by the sound of musical instruments that resound above all other noise. Orruks prefer to bash out these important noises by hitting things with sticks. The Warchanta is the specialist who sets up the rhythm and inspires the other Iron Jaws. So we've got a background table to roll on, and of course we have his tactics table to roll on as well. Here we see Warchanta leading a charge of some Orruk brutes, which are the Ard boys who have fought and become pretty veteran-y. So we can put his name down as well, and his great deeds that he does as we play games with him. So yeah, nice little leader support character guide to add to our Orruk force. So the build guide, it's pretty straightforward. He's a very simple model. So we glue the leg on, we glue his belly in place, then we glue his hip skirt and his head in place. His left pec armor, his right pec armor. Glue his 2 hands on, glue the varying tusks to the back plate of his armor, glue that in place. Then we got the skull on one of his arms there and the chopper at his waist. And that's pretty much it. So yeah, 14 pieces gives us our lovely little model. And our paint guide is going to be a pretty complete paint guide. So you want to start with a good solid undercoat of Wraithbone. I will, of course, say, as always, get a good base coat with a spray and then do a single once over just to help even it out with the pot of paint. Then we're painting the skin with Orruk flesh. It's a nice colour, but I prefer a little bit darker where I go for my orc skin. So I go with War flesh. Avalon black for his trousers and some of the armour panels. Avalon sunset for the rest of the armour panels. Lead belcher for his chopper. Catagen flesh for any leather bindings. So he's got quite a few around tusks and his arms. Corn red for his tongue. Mephiston red for his eyes. Then moving to our shades. So non-oil on the lead belcher as well as the leather and in his mouth. Agramax earth shade around his eyes. Aphonian camo shade for his skin. Reichland flesh shade for his armour. Skeleton horde then for all these tusks, his sticks, and a extra coat of skeleton horde to make the tusks look extra ancient and worn. Finally then, our highlights. So Ogren camo is used to lay out the skin, Wraithbone on the armour as well as the tusks. Stormhost silver is used to highlight his chopper, Dawnstone on the black armour panels, Balor brown on the straps of his weapons, Night Quest of flesh on the hilt of his chopper, White Scar on some of the bone details, most notably his sticks, Squig orange on the little pouch around his waist there, and Wild Rider red to pick out his little eyes. And finally we're using Orruk flesh first off as a bit of a wash to recess shade his clubs. As a dry brush over the top, just to add a little bit of a glowy effect. So yeah, nice little extra touch there. And yeah, that's your finished model. He does look rather nice and impressive. Yeah, I'm painting mine red if I do have any orcs. So yeah. So moving on, we have how to paint scenery details. So we're looking at adding extra detail to scenery pieces now. We've got our final few paints. So Night Quest of Flesh is used to pick out the wood grain on the doors, dry brushed on the areas such as the support structures here. Techless Blue is used as a wash or glaze onto the magical energy areas on our siphon. And then we're dry brushing and edge highlighting those areas with White Scar. So any string and bones are all highlighted with the White Scar paint. You could dry brush, it'd probably be easier than picking out the strands one by one. It does mention the dry brush on the bones to give them a dusty appearance though. And yeah, the metals are all edge highlighted with Stormhost Silver. So this is the Runelord Brass, Retributor Armor, and of course any Lead Belcher details. So you've got the chains here, the door hangers and door handles. The gold trim on the door there, the star, and even the runes etched into the Runelord Brass details there as well. And finally then, for our scenery collection, we wanted to pick out the red gems on our two Guardian Idols with a little bit of Wild Rider Red, which I believe I mentioned last time in the terrain issue. I did mention we were going to highlight it, but we were doing it now, so yeah. And then there's your finished gallery of all your terrain features that we've had in the collection so far that are now all fully finished. Moving along, we have the War Scroll for the Warchanta. So as we know, this is a bit out of date, but still it's good to use with the collection. So Warchanta comes with a Gorka Stick and Morka Sticks, which you can use as both a special item and a melee weapon. But it has a chopper at the side, so you can use that, I guess. So in your hero phase, pick a friendly Iron Jaws unit within 15 inches. Until your next phase, add 1 to damage, and the unit cannot benefit from this ability more than once. War Beats, so pick a unit to be part of your army. You can pick one of the following beats for it to know and write it on your army list. When it attempts a beat on roll a dice on a 3+, the beat is successful. The unit cannot attempt a war beat if that has been attempted by another friendly unit in the same turn. So you've got 3 to choose from, so Fix and Beat, so this one allows you to pick a friendly model within 12 and heal D3 wounds. Get and Beat, this gives you pick one friendly Iron Jaws unit within 12. In that charge phase, you can attempt to charge that unit as long as you're within 18 inches instead of 12, and if you do, you roll 3d6 instead of 2d6. And Killer Beat, so the War Beat can be attempted at the start of the combat phase. If the attempt is successful, pick an enemy unit within 12, add 1 to hit rolls for models attacking that unit. So, yeah, pretty cool. So we've got the Violent Fury rule there, so he's giving +1 damage to the Yard Boys with their stickers. And then we got an example here on all the different beats that you can do. So the Fixing Beats, healing the Swamp Caller Slog off there. The Get and Beat gives a nice big charge to the Yard Boys as they charge the Tree Revenants. And the Killer Beat, we're targeting Bastion there with the Loom Boss and Mega Boss going in for the fight. Speaking of the Mega Boss, we have Destruction Tactics. So we look at the brand new Mega Boss that we've added to our Destruction side. So he is a great melee unit. He's got lots of attacks and lots of damage output with his Mega Chopper. He's durable due to that hulking armor plates, but he has limited range, so he's not the speediest. No ranged weapons, and yeah, his abilities are required to be pretty close to the rest of your force as well. But he is a Wrecking Ball, so he can hit and keep hitting in combat. And of course, we've got a War Scroll for our Warchanta. So he's a support character. He's hard hitting, as he is, of course, a hard boy. So he's got nice defense abilities, plus all his bonuses. But he does need support, so he can't stand about on his own. He's going to get picked off quite easily. Which is where your 10 hard boys will come in great handy. Moving on, our latest battle plan of the Last Stand Battle Pack, A Glimmer of Hope. So a jumbo battle, we're using all 4 mats, 2 heroes and 5 troops. So we've got a centre line of objectives here. 5 battle rounds, 1 point for each objective, 1 point for 2 or more objectives, and 1 if you control more than your opponent. Also, we have the Arcane Foresight. At the start of your own hero phase, each player rolls a dice. On a 4+, they gain an additional command point. So that's pretty cool. Small armies on a big battlefield, so you're going to be spread pretty thin. Yeah, it's okay. So place your terrain features, 4 objective tokens, 6 pieces of terrain. You don't get to add anything to the army, which is kind of annoying. It would have been nice if you had like reinforcement things come in later on, but nope. And then we got our usual spoils of war to write down what you've done for your forces. So next time in Stormbringer, we got 3 issues of the Stormdrake Guard. So Model 1, Model 2, and the bases. So we also have Ironjaw's battle traits, Troggoth anatomy, and a awesome painting guide. I have just seen Palette of Dead's review of this issue, and I'm sad to say no Iron Fane's paint guide. That is really sad to me. Yeah, they promised a lot of information about the Iron Fanes. I was really expecting them to do everything from the 5 Vindictors onwards as Iron Fanes, but yeah, no, we didn't get a lot. And I'm kind of disappointed that we didn't get these guys done as Iron Fanes. But it is what it is. So I'll bring everything back in, give you my final thoughts on this issue. So there we have issue 75 of Stormbringer. And yeah, it's a nice finish to the Orruks of the Iron Jaws. We have 1 more issue to come for, or 2 more issues to come for the Destruction faction, which is Swamp Boss Scumdrek, which is 79 and 80. Can't wait for those. Hoping we do get to see some sort of special at the end of the collection, like we did with Conquest when we had the Silver Templars paint guide. Would be nice if we had something similar for the Iron Fanes. Give you a nice additional set of paints, nicely done paint guide book, some models, perhaps 5 Vigilors and a new character that we haven't had before. That'd be quite nice to add to the collection. Yeah, oh, Vanquishers, not Vigilors. Vigilors are the bow guys. I'm thinking of the sword guys, which are Vanquishers. So many V units in the Stormcast force at the moment. It's confusing. But yeah, so there we have it. Pretty good issue. Straight into the pages for the new model, which is kind of cool. No new lore to speak of. I believe we get quite a bit in the last few issues anyway. But yeah, jumbo paint guide, which is always great. We finish off our terrain, we paint our new model. Yeah, can't really fault that for what it is. Pretty good value, I think. So yeah, that's it. Let me know what you thought of the issue in the comment section down below. Also, don't forget to check out the poll in my community page for what to collect next. And yeah, don't forget to do all the usual. So check the links for all my other pages. And of course, like, comment, share, and subscribe. So that's it for issue 75. Time to film the bumper edition of 76 to 78. So thank you all very much for watching. Until next time, stay safe and happy hobbying. Goodbye.